The Doctor was puzzled. He had brought the TARDIS back into time and space, switched off the controls and turned on the external scanner. But as he moved the scanner from one angle to another, he grew more uneasy. It wasn't that there was anything particularly wrong about the landscape he was viewing, at least not within his experience. In fact, it was quite appealing. But there was something wrong out there, and he couldn't yet put his finger on exactly what it was. The terrain wasn't exactly welcoming, he had to admit that. It was black, bearing a strong resemblance to tarmac. But numerous cracks had appeared in the surface, and out of these, trees and plant life had sprung in abundance. There were even flowers, though no evidence of how they were pollinated. He could see nothing even resembling a butterfly. Come to that, there was no sign of bird life either. He continued to stare intently at the screen. Behind him, Vicki was cutting Stephen's hair. Her dark eyes moved from the job in hand to stare intently at the Doctor. "Arrived, have we?" The Doctor's attention remained on the screen. "We have, my dear." Stephen raised his head from the angle at which Vicki had tilted it. "Good. Where?" "Ah." The Doctor examined the control panel. "Somewhere in Galaxy 4. I don't know exactly where, I'm afraid, but there's something not quite right about it." Stephen stood up, and he and Vicki crossed the console room to join the Doctor in staring at the screen. Neither was overly impressed. Vicki did not care for the black surface, though Stephen did find a redeeming feature in the plants. He tousled his fair hair where Vicki had last been clipping, and looked more closely. There was something distinctly odd about the scene, something missing. He felt uneasy. Like the Doctor, he could see no sign of animal life, but there was something else. After all, life could be underground or even concealed somewhere in the greenery, so what was it? "Could you put the sound on, please, Doctor?" The Doctor checked his instruments and made an adjustment. "It is on, full now." They all listened intently and heard not a sound. The silence was quite overpowering. They could almost feel it. There was no sound whatsoever, not even of wind. All the trio could hear was their own breathing. All they could feel was the beating of their hearts. "Weird," whispered Vicki. But the Doctor was again surveying his instruments. Everything was in satisfactory working order. He stood back and sighed. "Atmospheric pressure, temperature, oxygen content, radiation, all satisfactory." He looked again at the scanner. "I wonder if it's possible to have a planet so obviously conducive to life, yet without any." "Well, I've finished chopping Stephen's hair. Can we go out and see?" The Doctor shrugged. "I don't see why not. There's just a chance that we might get some peace." "For a change," Stephen added dryly. "Perhaps there's even a river or a lake. Fancy a swim, Doctor?" "Young man, this is a scientific expedition," the Doctor replied tartly. "It pays always to be cautious." "There's a limit to—" Stephen broke off as something banged against the side of the TARDIS. They looked at each other, startled, and there was yet another bump. The Doctor raised his hand for silence. Whatever it was continued to keep knocking against the TARDIS, proceeding along one side, then another, obviously investigating the machine. And now they could hear something else, a curious chittering and jingling sound, obviously emanating from the intruder. "What is it?" Vicki whispered. "Something mechanical," the Doctor answered. "A robot of some sort." "But why the knocking?" Stephen wondered. "I would guess that it's blind and has to proceed by touch," the Doctor said. The knocking ceased, the intruder having completed its circuit of the TARDIS. It fell silent, and they heard it moving away.